Welcome back to Bite-Sized Serenity, our short, useful tips that help you get the most out of your Serenity BDD test suite. In this episode, I want to look at a type of locator that you may not have come across. You can locate, obviously, with things like XPath and CSS and by ID. But did you know that you can also locate by jQuery? And that's what I want to look at today. If we look at this little test that I have here. In this test, we're going to query the DuckDuckGo search motor. So what I do here is I go to the DuckDuckGo homepage, I search for cucumber, and I check that there's an entry containing cucumber Wikipedia. And so if I were to do this on the actual DuckDuckGo search page, I enter cucumber, and I want to make sure that cucumber Wikipedia appears. Let's step into the code and see how it works under the hood. So I step into the should see entry snippet which contains a particular keyword, and here I get the snippet for a keyword from this page object. And inside the page object, we use an XPath expression to query Wikipedia. And so I say find by, and I pass in the XPath expression, I pass in the parameter which gets injected here. And then I find inside that object, I find the result snippet, which I'm interested in. But it turns out we can also do this using jQuery. So an equivalent jQuery to this expression would look something like this. I could say something like dot result underscore body, and I want it to contain a particular expression. So let's say contain Wikipedia. So for the demonstration, I just want to do a simple jQuery expression to show how it works. And so now I'm saying result body contains Wikipedia. That's the equivalent XPath, the equivalent jQuery to this rather complicated XPath expression when we use Wikipedia. Now, of course, we could build the expression by passing in the keyword. So if I were to do that, actually, whoops, I've forgotten a quote. We could do that by something like this. And now, all I need to do to find this expression is, rather than say find by XPath, I say find by jQuery. And I pass in my jQuery. So if I were to replace all this by a return find by jQuery instead of my return XPath, we no longer do this, and we have the equivalent of what we had before. Except we're using a much simpler jQuery expression rather than XPath. Now jQuery will work as long as jQuery is installed on your application. If it's not installed on your application, then there is a trick. In our Serenity properties file, all we need to do is add an option called Serenity jQuery integration. If we set this property to true, then Serenity will inject jQuery into any page. We don't activate that by default because it's quite slow. It'll take time to run it every time you open a page. So we don't want to do it systematically if it's already there. But if you want to use jQuery and it's not already available, you can set this option and make the jQuery selector available. So that's all we have time for today. Please do subscribe to the channel, and as always, check out our Serenity Dojo curriculum, which has quite a lot of free material and quite a detailed selection of material on Serenity BDD and web testing in Serenity BDD in particular. And that's really designed to help you get the most out of your Serenity test suites. So that's all for now. This is John Ferguson Smart signing off.